Alright YouTube, today we have a major transformation on my guy Raekwon. We're gonna be chopping this down, ain't it?
Yes sir.
I think we're gonna knock it down to a 1.5 with a super clean high taper, line up his beard, and get him right, so let's get to it. So as you can see, my guy was mad uncomfortable while I was taking his hair down with the 4 guard. What I should have done is pick his hair out before I actually did this, but nonetheless, we're knocking it down with the 4. We're using a big guard here just to make sure that we don't patch him. But in this part right here, his hair is a lot thinner, and I got super worried because I went against the grain with the 4 and it looked like I patched him. But I'm going to show you exactly how I fixed this. So I just continue to take it down with the 4 guard. I'm going with the grain on this side just so I don't make that same mistake. So now I'm going to come and shampoo his hair to get it laid down, because he had it, you know, longer and straight up, so we want to get it to where it's laying back down to prepare it for the waves, right? So I just shampooed it. Now I'm using the shampoo brush here to get rid of any dirt or you know, any oils that could potentially be in the hair, because we want to make sure that it's nice and clean. But now once it's dry, we're gonna knock it down to a 2 guard. And the reason I use the 2 guard and not the 1.5 is because, like I said, his hair is a little thinner, so I want to make sure that I keep this as full and as dark as possible. So I'm just going with the grain here, making sure that I don't create, you know, any patches or light spots. And like I said, on this side, I really did think, I thought at the time that I had patched him, but after I washed it and everything, it laid down very nicely, and I didn't. So now we're going to get into the taper with our trimmer. So I started at the top of the arch and where the ear connects to the head, and then I'm going to follow it up with my shaver. Now we're going to go lever open on our clipper, going up about a finger's width with this guideline. And now for that line in between, I went ahead and closed that lever all the way, and I open it up little by little as we move up within this guideline. Now right above that, we're going to have our 1 guard with that lever open, still going up about that finger's width here. And this is a high taper, so don't be scared to cover some distance. And the reason we chose a high taper with this client as opposed to a low taper is because he has, you know, a bigger forehead. And I believe with the higher tapers, it just makes the forehead look a little smaller and it looks a lot cleaner. So now we're going to get rid of this line in between with our half guard open, and then I'll close that little by little as needed. Now we're going to use our 2 guard with the lever open. This will be the biggest guard that we are going to use to blend into that length there on the sides. And now right under that 2 guard open, I'm going to have my 1.5 with the lever open, and I'm going to attack this last line here, and then I'll close that as needed as well. And what you're going to see me do here is flip that 1.5 around and go with the grain, and this is just going to smooth everything out and make sure this blend is as soft and as blendy as possible, you know. So as you can see, it just smooths everything out. Now we're going to blend into his facial hair. And with this, all it is really a reverse taper. So I went lever open, got rid of that line. Now I'm going to go with the 1 open. Close that 1 guard to lighten up the line in between. Then we're going to come in with that 1.5. I believe this is the biggest guard that we use here. Now we're going to detail with the corner, and that pretty much blends into his beard. Now for the neckline, I didn't record the part where I established the bald line, but all I did was create that line with my trimmer, and then I followed it up with the shaver. And this client doesn't bump up, which is why I'm able to use the shaver. Now we're going to come in with our lever open, again that finger's width. And especially in the back area, don't be scared to cover some distance with your guidelines, because you want to make sure this taper is stretched out, right? You don't want it to look like a really harsh weight line. So right above that open, we're going to go with our 1 guard open with that finger's width once again. And I don't know if you guys noticed when I did that open guideline from the trimmer to the open, there was really not a line in between, and that's because his neck hair blends very easily. So now I'm going to come in with the half guards to lighten up this line in between. And even this line isn't dark either. So now we're going to come in with that 2 guard, again the biggest guard that we are using, trying to stay below the occipital bone. We don't want to make our taper higher than that. So we're just coming off the shape of his head here. And right here, I just flipped that 2 guard around to smooth everything out. And now we're going to come in with that 1.5 lever open. And then we'll close that as needed. And this should pretty much get us through our taper process. And then we always can go back in detail as well. So we're just working with that 1.5 here, trying to get it, you know, as blended as we can. And what's really going to make this taper pop is when we put the line on it. So we're going to start at the top of his ear, making sure that we don't take that too high. And then we're going to work our way towards the bottom. And this is really going to make that taper pop and bring out any details that, you know, we may need to go back and fix. So as you can see, that line is making everything look a lot cleaner, a lot more finished. And now we're going to start in the middle of his hairline and work towards the left or right, whichever you're more comfortable with. In this case, I'm going towards his left, my right. So I started in the middle, and now I'm just moving to his corners, trying to keep it as natural as possible, but at the same time get it as sharp and as crispy as possible. And just like with that nape area lineup, this front lineup is really going to make that taper pop as well. Now we're going to move towards his right side, which is his lighter and weaker side, but we're still going to make this sharp as we can. And now we're going to fill in those lighter areas with some hair fibers. I believe the hair fibers give a little more of a natural look, so that's why I went ahead and used them this time. And I'm just going to reline the hairline. I didn't apply much, just enough to fill in that light spot. And I believe I do the same thing on the other side to go ahead and match it. So just a light amount of fibers. This is the Tomb 45 fibers, and now I'm going to go ahead and reline it. Now it's coming out super sharp and clean. Now I'm going to use some level 3 hairspray to go ahead and lock it in. And I'm just going to get rid of his mustache because he doesn't like it. And now we're going to line up his beard, starting at the bottom, and then we'll go to the top and meet those 2 points in the middle. And I want to brush away that initial line and then reline it. And that's how you make sure you have a crispy beard lineup. Not doing too much here. Stretching the skin like always. And I did use the razor on the top of the hairline, but I didn't get that part recorded. So I just used the shaver to get rid of any flyaways. But that is the before. And this is the after. Family, if this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And like always, I will catch y'all next time.